Here we have an example where we're finding the tangent of two angles added. Okay, so we need the adding tangent formula. So I come down here to our trig identity formula sheet that I gave you. And notice here, for tangent, here it is, tangent of two angles added is this formula right there. And notice the signs carefully. See how this is plus minus and this is plus minus? Those are the same, and right here is minus plus. Why'd they reverse it and put the minus on the top? It's because they're telling you it's opposite sign of whatever you started with. So if you start with plus, this will be minus. If you start with minus, this will be plus. So whenever they do that, they're telling you it's opposite sign there. That's their way of saying that. Does that make sense? So plus minus, same on the top, and on the bottom, opposite. Okay, tangent, plus or minus tangent, over 1 plus or minus tangent, tangent, opposite sign on the bottom. Okay. So, then the tangent of x plus y is tangent, tangent, over 1 opposite tangent times tangent. Do you see that's the formula right there? Right? See how on the top it's the tangents added and subtracted, and on the bottom it's 1 plus or minus the tangents multiplied. See, there's no symbol in between here, so they're timesed. Okay, so there's our formula. And our x is 135 and our y is 30, so this is 135 here, 135 here, and the y is 30. Okay, so now we just need to go find those pieces. So first off, tangent of 135, let's go to the unit circle. 135, let me erase the other stuff that was here. So 135 is right here. So this is sine and cosine. So tangent of 130. Remember, tangent is sine over cosine. So it's sine, negative root 2 over 2, over cosine, regular root 2 over 2. Well, how do you simplify that? Remember when you have fractions over fractions that you grab the one in the bottom and you flip it up. And it multiplies upside down because that's what dividing is. Dividing is just upside down multiplying. You know that, right? Dividing and multiplying are just upside down. So when you have a fraction on the bottom of a fraction, you flip it up, upside down. Then these guys here will cancel, and so will these. It's just negative 1, isn't it? So the tangent of 135 is negative 1. So we bring this back, tangent of 135. Negative 1 plus, and now what's the tangent of 30? Let's go, and also on the bottom here. So on the bottom, do all of it at once. 1 minus, and tangent of 135 there also is also negative 1, right? It was negative 1 right there, times. Okay, so now we got to go get the tangent of 30 for those two spots, for right here and right here. Okay. Tangent of 30. So we go to 30. Here's 30 degrees. Cosine first. Oh, wait a minute. Did I reverse that? I did. This should have been cosine sine, shouldn't it? You know what? I got lucky. It came out the same either way. You know, it would be the same answer. It's always cosine first, then sine. So the sine should have been root 2 over 2, and the cosine should have been negative root 2 over 2. It's cosine first, right? Then sine. Grab this, flip it up. It's going to come out the same, isn't it? By luck. I got lucky. Negative 2 over root 2. So they cancel, and it's still just negative 1. But anything else, I wouldn't have got so lucky. Let's try it. Let's try it here. So cosine first, then sine. So tangent of 30 degrees, again, is sine over cosine. Sine is the half over cosine, which is root 3 over 2, right? So now what happens from there? You grab this from the denominator, you flip it up. So it's a half times 2 over root 3. The one from the denominator, the one being divided, flips up and multiplies upside down, because dividing is upside down multiplying. These cancel, and so we just get 1 over root 3, don't we? Now, we don't usually leave roots in the bottom of a fraction. So what we do is we multiply top and bottom by root 3. And so what is that equal? Well, you multiply straight. 1 times root 3 is root 3 over root 3 times root 3 is the square root of 9, which is plane 3. So there we go. The tangent of 30 degrees, simplified, is root 3 over 3. We got rid of the root from the bottom. We don't leave a root in the bottom. It's root 3 over 3. So let's take it back. It's root 3 over 3. And it's root 3 over 3. Okay. Well, this guy's getting a little bit messy. What are we going to do about this? Well, first off, let's come down to here. This is going to be minus 1 plus root 3 over 3 over 1, and then the two negatives here, minus and minus, is plus, as you know, and 1 times root 3 over 3 is just root 3 over 3. Okay. Now, what are we going to do with that? Do we just leave it that way? No. So let me write it here for you. When we have fractions over fractions, so when we have fractions over fractions, you multiply all the terms, top and bottom, by the LCD over 1. And what's the LCD? LCD is 1 of each type of item under a small bar. What do I mean? So here's a small bar and here's a small bar. We're not counting this major big bar. So we're saying if you want to know what the LCD is, here's what you do when you have fractions over fractions. You find the LCD, and the LCD is this guy and this guy. It's actually just one of them. It's just going to be 3, right? Because those are the items under small bars. We have a 3 and a 3, right? You take one of each type of item under a small bar. So you just take one of those 3s, not both of them. So the LCD is just a single 3, and then you multiply by the LCD over 1. So I'm going to multiply by 3 over 1, 3 over 1, 3 over 1, 3 over 1, right? All the terms, top and bottom, by the LCD over 1. The LCD is just 3 because that's what's under the small bars, just one of what's under the small bars. Okay, so where are we now? Well, we're almost done here. So this is going to be 3 over 1 is just 3 times negative 1 is just negative 3, right? And here, these 3's cancel. That's why we did it. We wanted to get rid of that fraction over fraction. And this, again, 3 over 1 is just 3 times 1 is just 3. Plus, these guys cancel. Root 3 over 1 is just root 3, right? We don't leave 1s in the denominator. That doesn't do anything, right? So we ignore those, and there's our answer. That's as simplified as it's going to get. So there we go. That's the exact answer for the tangent of 135 plus 30 degrees. And it's okay, by the way, they're going to let us just leave this root in the denominator in the very end. If you're wondering about that, don't worry about it. I mean, you could get rid of it. It's a pain. They're going to let us just leave it. Type in that answer just as you see it, and they will take it. There won't be any problem. You don't need to worry about doing more than that. That's good enough right there.